Anyway, let's check out this one. It's by HQ Gaming News. And this one is called 5 Key Differences Between Starfield, No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, and Star Citizen. So this one might be fun to watch because everybody is excited about Starfield, like most people are.
For those transitioning from No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, or Star Citizen to Starfield, whether temporarily or permanently, there are some big differences you should be aware of. So allow me to highlight 5 distinct features that set it apart from the rest of the pack.
All right.
Let's start with multiplayer first. The online multiplayer component of No Man's Sky allows up to 32 players to play simultaneously on the same server instance. It's important to note that...
Oh yeah, by the way, I played Silica yesterday in multiplayer, and it's a phenomenal experience. Although Silica is the RTS FPS game that I've been like talking about for a couple of streams now because I'm fucking obsessed with that, especially because one guy fucking made it. The issue is once you get like 1,000 fucking units on the ground, the game gets super laggy, the FPS drops, and all of that. We all know why that's happening because we are all into Star Citizen and listening to the devs, and we all know more about development than like any other typical gamer, right? But I'm hoping that those issues are going to get solved. Also, the servers are like locally hosted, so it's just like up to like who has a better PC, I guess. So I want to try it. Like, if you guys get it, I want to try it with you. It's like up to 40 people on a map or on a server, whatever. And there could be like 3 factions. I want to try it with you, and I want to see if my PC and my like super fast connection are good enough to host it without any like hitches.
Of the game's world, the chances of randomly encountering another player on your journey through the stars are extremely low. The multiplayer aspect of No Man's Sky is primarily designed for playing with friends in groups of 2 to 4 players. However, if you want to interact with other people, you can always visit Nexus Space Anomaly, which is a shared social hub in the form of a universal space station.
Oh, that's cool.
The downside of multiplayer sessions in No Man's Sky is that they can be plagued by networking issues and data mismatches, especially when crossplay is involved.
Yeah.
Elite Dangerous supports asynchronous multiplayer and in theory can be considered an MMO. In practice, however, the game uses peer-to-peer networking to establish a direct connection between players and limits the number of players who can share the same instance to 32. If you choose one of the multiplayer modes, you may come across other players around community goals, famous alien sites, or in systems with important points of interest. Apart from solo mode, in which you won't encounter any other player, you can join a private group session and only interact with players within the same group. But for a truly immersive multiplayer experience, you can dive into open play and interact with others who are also in this mode. However, as with No Man's Sky, multiplayer has some drawbacks, as the game struggles to maintain stable network performance when there are a large number of players in close proximity. The matchmaking system tries to place everyone in the best possible instance for...
See, Shane, yes. So Shane said base building allows player customization. Okay, sure, whatever. Resource use, crafting, management. Yes, building also. But also, the reason why I'm saying that the base building would help in Star Citizen right now is because, as Puppeteer said, there would be some kind of a progression, because you would like build your base and it would be bigger and bigger with more stuff inside of it and all of that. But also, there will be a reason to fight, because I want your resources, I want your items, you want mine, so we gotta fight. Currently, we're fighting over nothing, or over a fucking full cutlass or freelancer filled with cargo, and that's it.
Results. Yet this can occasionally result in players not being able to see one another. Although there have been previous successful attempts involving 100 people playing together, the game is already experiencing network performance issues with as few as 20 players.
Oh, wow.
In contrast to No Man's Sky and Elite, Star Citizen is entirely built as a multiplayer title. With a smaller world compared to these games, which we'll discuss further in this video, encounters with other players are more common. The game currently supports approximately 100 players per server shard, and future updates will gradually increase this limit. The current experience of Star Citizen heavily relies on its servers, which have gained a reputation for being notoriously unreliable. The
Yep.
performance is directly tied to the game updates that are constantly
I love the phrasing. It relies on the servers that are completely unreliable.
being added, and each update has the potential to either make or break the overall experience. As a
Yep.
result, the gameplay can often be far from smooth and varies on a case-by-case basis. When playing Star Citizen, you'll essentially find yourself at the mercy of the server gods. This brings us to Starfield. To keep it short, Starfield is strictly a single-player game. There is no multiplayer of any sort, and there are currently no plans to implement one. This shouldn't come as a surprise, since Bethesda as a publisher and developer is not widely recognized for its multiplayer experiences. For many, arguably the most significant difference between Starfield and games like No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, and Star Citizen lies in the absence of seamless transitions and atmospheric flight, which some players consider crucial for deep engagement. These two important features not only enhance the sense of immersion, but also add gameplay variety and expand the exploration aspect of the game.
Okay.
In Starfield, when selecting a landing spot on a planet or moon using a map, a cutscene will play to generate the terrain in the background, eliminating the first-hand experience of transitioning between space and the planet's surface. The lack of seamless transitions means players will miss out on the awe-inspiring moments of witnessing the vastness of space and the breathtaking shift to planetary surfaces.
Yeah. And it's a shame, honestly,
Another
because
game-
that's... So we take this as granted when we play Star Citizen, but you gotta tip your hat to them, because that's one of the best experiences when it comes to Star Citizen. Taking off from a planet and just like flying, and you can fly around the planet. You can go out of the atmosphere, jump to another moon, etc. Like it's completely seamless, and that's amazing. It's not the only game that has that. Of course, Space Engineers also has that, and Space Engineers is a really old game, and it has destructive environments, etc., etc. And you can like dig and you can mine, and like it's basically Star Citizen but finished, but and also without like overpriced ships. But yeah, you gotta tip your hat to them for that, because Planet Stack is pretty amazing, even though the planets don't really look that nice anymore compared to the environments that are like built in UE5 or whatever. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. It's an accomplishment, and yeah.
Gameplay element that's surprisingly missing from Starfield is atmospheric flight, depriving us of the exhilarating sensation of soaring through a planet's atmosphere.
But you
Say
can't
goodbye
have
to
that because the planets are not like pre-rendered. It's like procedurally going to generate whenever you get up to the tile that needs to be generated.
Thrilling canyon runs, engaging aerial combat and maneuvers, and the ability to explore the surfaces of planets and moons from high altitudes. Comparatively, games like No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, and Star Citizen have successfully implemented these mechanics to varying degrees. Despite technical issues, Star Citizen in particular excels in delivering a remarkable execution of both seamless transitions and atmospheric flight, showcasing an incredible sense of scale and a realistic portrayal of space. However, in the end, it is important to consider the trade-off made here. Bethesda has prioritized creating visually immersive environments that contribute to world building, storytelling, and an overall captivating ambiance. We got beautifully rendered and highly detailed planets, moons, cities, settlements, and countless other stunning points of interest. And these may not have been possible if those technically complex features had been squeezed into the engine that Starfield is based on. To stay on the subject of spaceship flight mechanics, all games here rely on some form of FTL engine capable of space-time bending in order to cover long distances. Among these games, No Man's Sky offers the shortest planet-to-planet travel, and that's because solar systems are scaled down and planets and moons are clustered together. All you need to do is point your ship towards
I honestly
a planet,
never liked
engage
this.
the pulse drive, and wait a bit until you reach your
It
destination.
seems like
While
in
traveling
Starfield it's the same thing, and that's the thing that I really don't like. But
at these
yeah.
high speeds, you can observe other
It's a
celestial
game,
bodies
so
passing you
what
by
are you
in
gonna
real
do?
time. Elite Dangerous follows a similar approach but places a heavy emphasis on realistic physics and Newtonian mechanics. In Elite, you choose your desired location and activate the frameshift drive, which progressively accelerates and moves you there while retaining the option to manually navigate the ship. Similar to No Man's Sky, you can see the environment shifting around you as you move through the system at incredible speeds. In Star Citizen, the quantum drive transports you to other moons or planets, allowing you to observe in real time the distance covered during quantum travel. And although Star Citizen shares similarities with Elite in this regard, your movement is effectively limited here as you remain enclosed within the quantum tunnel until you reach your destination. All these mechanics share one common aspect. While traveling, you don't really engage in much activity aside from waiting.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky has the simplest and most time-efficient system, sacrificing realism for convenience. In my opinion, Elite offers the most realistic and engaging system, but it can also be the most time-consuming.
You guys in the channel live, or did my chat just like die? I have no idea what's happening.
Want to visit a planet or moon that is far away from the main star. Which brings us to Starfield and how it sets itself apart from these games with its fairly straightforward system. In Starfield,
you
set
just
a
fell
course to a
asleep.
planet,
Okay.
activate the grav
Fair
drive,
enough.
and instantly reach your destination through a wormhole. This time-saving mechanic is beneficial for those who frequently traverse between planets or moons, but may break immersion for players seeking simulation-focused gameplay.
What's up, Sadiq?
Ultimately, the perfect balance between realism and fun is entirely subjective and dependent on individual preferences. Personally, I still appreciate Elite's system and how it manages to incorporate real physics, allowing for manual flight and the strategic use of gravity wells to optimize travel times. Playing Elite with its frame shift drive has given me a genuine appreciation for the vastness of space and a better understanding of the immense distances involved. However, I must admit that after a while, I often wished for a way to speed up or even skip the process altogether. I'm curious to know which method of interplanetary travel you prefer among these options. Feel
So
free to
which
share your
one
thoughts
would
and
you prefer more, honestly? Because No Man's Sky, it's gamey, but also it doesn't waste your time. Star Citizen, it wastes your time and you do not interact with it at all. In the new flight model, you should be able to interact with it. And it's going to be similar to what we have in Elite Dangerous, which to me, honestly, looks like the best solution because you're still interacting with the ship. You're still doing something. So I'm actually curious, like, which one would you prefer
among these options?
out of all of them?
Feel free to share your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. To better understand the next point, let's explore the world-building strategies utilized in each of these games. When it comes to the vastness of the game universe, No Man's Sky surpasses all other games. With an astounding 256 unique galaxies and an unimaginable number of quintillions of planetary objects to discover, it stands as the unparalleled titan of the gaming world. No other game even comes close to the sheer magnitude of its expansive.
If I have a multi-cruise ship, I don't mind, the waiting, but single set, it's hard to wait. Oh, okay. A single seat it's hard to wait. Yeah, it's you go to the bathroom and when you come back, it's done. Even with the multi-cruise ship, like, what are you gonna do in the ship though? Like, you can't interact with 99% of the ship's interior. That's the issue. You can just run around and that's it. I would love for the multi-cruise ships to like make you do something also. So you have to do something, or even like as I've said, if you're gonna keep, and I said this like fucking 2 years ago, if you're gonna keep the quantum travel like this in Star Citizen, might as well just give us Snake, the game of Snake in on the MFDs, so we can just play Snake and that's it. I don't know.
256 unique galaxies and an unimaginable number of quintillions of planetary objects to discover, it stands as the unparalleled titan of the gaming world. No other game even comes close to the sheer magnitude of its expansive setting, making No Man's Sky undeniably the largest virtual world ever created. If you were to spend just 1 second on each planet, it would take you approximately 585 billion years to explore everything. This massive scale is made possible through the heavy use of procedural generation, which rapidly generates content as you play.
Although once you visit your third planet, they all start looking the same.
This presents a world that is slightly more comprehensible in size, yet still astronomically huge. It offers a one-to-one replica of our Milky Way galaxy. With around 400 billion realistically simulated star systems, most of which include various planets, moons, and asteroid fields, Only 0.06% of Elite's galaxy has been explored after almost 9 years since the game's release, and fully exploring Elite would take players tens of thousands of years. Similar to No Man's Sky, this achievement is made possible by heavily incorporating procedural generation and advanced mathematical and astrophysical calculations. In terms of physical size, Star Citizen has the smallest game world, currently limited to a single solar system. However, It is widely regarded as one of the most detailed and realistic depictions of space to date, thanks to a combination of procedural technology and the extensive handcrafted work by their talented artists. The developers of Star Citizen have managed to create a visually stunning and believable
He's using this river forever now. Just don't look at the end of the river, because that's...
world. As the game is still in active development, the game's scope will continue to expand with the announcement of additional solar systems in the future. Now, where does Starfield fit into all of this, and how does it differ from the rest? Starfield's universe is situated within what could be considered a smaller region of a galaxy, encompassing approximately 100 systems. These systems offer players the opportunity to explore over 1,000 planets. Bethesda pulled this off by skillfully combining procedural generation with handcrafted content, creating a breathtaking blend of immense possibilities and careful attention to detail.
Looks amazing, but if it's just like a barren wasteland, it's just gonna be pointless, but sure.
The way I see it, Starfield is the game that nails the perfect balance between quantity and detail. It manages to create a space that's big enough to feel real, yet immersive enough to keep things interesting without getting dull too fast. But what are your thoughts? Which do you prefer? A smaller, more detailed world, or an incredibly vast universe that can never be fully explored? Where do you think the golden middle lies when it comes to balancing realism and fun? Share your opinions in the comments below.
Dude, I just want a game. At this point, I just want a game. Yeah, I would always say Star Citizen, because like vastness and potential for exploration. But since we don't have exploration as a game loop, and we don't have anything to explore because everything is just like copy pasted basically, then like just give me a game, any game. I just want to play it. Honestly.
And finally, we come to the biggest difference between these games. No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, and Star Citizen are primarily sandbox experiences that offer players the freedom to explore the universe without any set storylines, goals, or quests. Instead, this is where creativity takes center stage, as you are free to choose your own path and engage in various activities like mining, trading, combat, or exploration at your own pace. You're encouraged to let your imagination soar as you carve out your destiny in the cosmos. On the other hand, Starfield takes a different...
Do you know what I just noticed? Is this like text-to-speech, the whole fucking video? Is like the narrator just like TTS?
Approach. With quests, levels, skills, and ranks, it offers a structured progression system. It combines the immersive elements of an RPG with a captivating space setting. As you embark on a grand journey through the stars, you assume the role of a character of your choice and venture into the unknown. The vastness of space becomes your backdrop as you encounter intriguing narratives, diverse characters, and choices that shape your unique journey through this living and breathing world. For me, Starfield is the perfect blend of two of my favorite aspects of gaming: the ability to embark on heroic adventures and influence the fictional world around me, while at the same time indulging my endless fascination with the
We gotta say it. We gotta see it first. We gotta play it first.
mysteries of the universe and space travel. Because I'm sure I'll never be able to do any of these things in my lifetime, Starfield's the closest I'll ever get to living out my childhood dream. But enough about me. What type of game sparked the fire in
honestly,
your gaming soul?
Starfield like more and more feels like a single player No Man's Sky, but also with probably a good storyline. Hopefully a good storyline. So
by storytelling and RPG elements?
Guess we'll see.
Or do you crave the open-ended exploration of sandbox space games? Maybe you have your own favorite space-themed title, so please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss our next video.
What's your favorite space-themed title that you ever played? I got mine.
Your support. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
It's nothing that you will probably
have a great day and a ton of fun.
Think of. But yeah, it's a good video, although I just realized that like this is probably just like TTS, like text-to-speech. So what is your favorite sci-fi / space title that you ever played? I'm actually curious. Tell me.